Hi there, and welcome to LogoJET's Adobe Illustrator training course. Today we're going to go over the basic interface and the tool areas. We'll get into the specifics of the tool details in another video, but just wanted to give you folks an idea of what you're looking at when you first open the application for the first time. Over here, you start and you'll see the main things you have to be concerned with are new file or open. So if you have an existing file, you can click open and browse for it on your computer or create a new file. And this will give you some options. These are some predetermined sizes and color fields up at the top for different applications. If you know exactly what you need to create, you can go over here and put in your, let's do 8.5 by 11. And you choose your color field. We're going to stay in RGB for this. For raster effects, you can choose your screen dimensions, which are screen preview, which this would be video or social media. High would be for print resolutions. Let's go for print, and we'll just hit create. And that created an 8.5 by 11 artboard. Now, the first thing that you need to know about are your tool areas, and right here are your toolbars. One of the first things you should do is go over here under toolbars and select advanced. And that will give you more of the tools. You're probably not going to need all of them, not going to even use some of them at all, but you will need more than the basic advanced for the most part, one of the basic tools, not advanced, pardon me. And another thing you're going to want to do over here is go and check on this control bar. And what that's going to do is that's going to open up some additional tools. And this control bar right here will change depending on what type of object you have selected here in your artboard. And it's a quick access rather than having the actual window open and going to it every single time. Now, one thing to start off with artboards is you can have this is basically your working space, and this is your output space as well. So if you have something that's hanging over the side like that, and you go to save it, it for the most part, it will cut this off at the edge of your toolbar. There are some exceptions, but you want to stay within your artboard, work to the size that you want to output. So if you're putting something on a coaster or some sort of custom tin or something like that, you're going to want to measure the item first and create your artboard for that size and work within those specifications. Another thing about an artboard too is you can have multiple artboards in the same file. And I'm going to hit Shift O to bring up the artboard controls. And I'm going to show you the artboard window because I can't really explain this without that, but we'll go into detail later. You can create additional artboards here like this, or you can simply hit Windows Alt, or I believe it's Command Alt on a Mac, or Command Control, and drag out another one. Once you get used to these key commands, they become second nature, and it's good to learn. It saves a lot of time using key commands rather than these menu commands. Another thing about artboards is you can have different shaped artboards. Say you're doing something that is a coordinated campaign, like something like Christmas ornaments or who knows what, but you can have different sizes and shapes of artboards in the same file. So um, again, I would stick with the advice of working to actual size. There are no circular artboards, just rectangular and square. But you can get, oops, you can get your artboards to the shapes that you need, and that way you can see everything at once. You don't have to work in separate files, and it's a lot easier to work in in uh, in one file. This right here is your toolbars. We already covered that. All of these right here are your selection, are tools to adjust anything within your file. So to start off with file, you can save. This is also where your document setup and color mode are. Um, you can choose CMYK or RGB. Generally, we work in RGB, but if you have something specific that you need CMYK for, you can change it there. Um, Edit, these are your normal, these are pretty standard on almost all apps. Control X is to cut, Control C is to copy, Command on a Mac, of course, paste. One of the handier ones is paste in front, and I'm going to just demonstrate that really quickly for you. Um, so if I go over here and I copy that and I go to paste something, it just going to paste it who knows where, right? But if I me uh, Control Z that to where it goes away. If I hit Command F, and it looks like nothing happened, but it put another square right on top of that one. Sometimes when you're working on a very complex piece, it's really handy to have it paste right on top or very, very near another object. But you can also go and assign color settings and profiles. If you have any applications that are profile specific to your to your application, then that's where you can go and assign different uh, color profiles. And if you would load up as a custom profile, you can then add it there. You can go ahead and cancel that. This is where all your object controls are. And if we had, let me just get a couple of them in here. That way we can demonstrate the tools. Um, you can group them, ungroup them. You can lock them, so if there's something in a particularly uh, complex illustration, say I needed to get to this and these two were getting in the way, I could lock these, and that way I can it only allows me to work on this, but sometimes you do need that. And you can unlock, and you can also hide those here too. You can say I want this one just to be hidden from view while I work on other things, and you can show all. Um, there's some other things in here too. You can slice. I'll go into detail when we get into shapes and actually drawing and things in here. A lot of these apply to that. Type here is where you have all of your type controls. You can select fonts, recent fonts. You can change the sizes. There are other control panels that handle this a lot better though. The only thing that if you have something that's really, really text heavy and you need to change a name in it that's repeated, you can do a fine change in here, which is nice. Bulleting numbers, show hidden characters, or you probably run across this in a word processing program, sort of like Word. Shows you where all the paragraph breaks and all that kind of stuff are. When you have a very complex illustration, this select area is super handy as well. You can select inverse of things. This is super handy. Under same, You can select things with the same stroke color, opacity, fill color, so on and so forth, but same font family and sizes and styles and all of that. For something that's complicated, you can really drill down and get what you need pretty easily. And next is effect. These are different things that you can do to objects. One of the more handy ones, I'm not going to go through these at this point, but under stylized and drop shadow is where you would put a drop shadow on something. So, you can adjust the parameters of it here, and that was one that you're probably going to um, have to use before any of the others. But oops, under view, there are a lot of things. This is basically controlling how you view and interact with the interface. So one of the ones that you're probably going to use more often than not is rulers. So rulers is over here under view, and it's simply Control R, Command R to bring that up. And another thing about the view is units of measurement. This is a real quick, easy thing. You can right click in the X and Y 0 up here, and you can select your unit of measurement: pixels, points, inches, millimeters, and depending on where you're at, if you're working in metric, this is where you would go and change all of that. Also is Windows, and these are all of a lot of these controls. You'll find once you worked with Illustrator for a while, there's a couple of ways to get to anything. A lot of these windows are in the controls over here, but these are quick, easy access, and I'll demonstrate. One thing you can do is you can set up, you're probably going to open it up and it'll be under something like Essentials, and all you'll have is this. It doesn't look like much, where you have all of these that you can choose from. Once you get used to your workspace, you can put all of your windows arranged very nicely on another monitor and create a new workspace and name it whatever you like. My name's Eddie. So I'll demonstrate that. It's up on my other monitor right now, but I'm going to drag it over here, and these are all of the windows that I find handy and use. Occasionally I have to bring up another one, but these are all of the controls that you can use to manipulate your artwork. And as you saw right here, I just took this guy, and to lock it in there, just hover it over, and you'll see the little blue line pop up, and it comes in and it locks. So this whole panel moves as one, rather than having to move everything over individually. So you just start off at the top left and you just add to it. And once you're happy with it, you go over here and go to Workspace and click New Workspace. And if something happens, occasionally Illustrator will crash or something like that, you'll go over to Workspace and just select your workspace, and all your windows will pop back up. And let's see here. Over here, you have all your tools. We'll go through that later in detail. But for right now, that's the basic Illustrator interface. And it's enough to get you started, and at least, not hopefully be too unfamiliar with what you're looking at and where to begin. And we'll get into details in further episodes. Thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed.